Well, I've got a letter here, which is addressed from Victor Chandler to you. Dear Mr. Fitzgerald, I would like to clarify the arrangement between us. I will arrange that an account be opened for you and you will place a £500 wager on any of your runners you select, etc., etc. This is clearly a no-lose betting account. What's going on here? What's the deal? What's the quid pro quo here?
He gives you an like that in your life.
Is this addressed to you?
Who's addressed as son? I haven't had an account like that, and don't be too smart with me.
I'm not being smart.
You're trying to be a bit smart. I've never had a no-lose betting account with Victor Chandler or any other Victor Chandler.
Well, can you explain this letter?
I can't explain it to you. I haven't had that account. When did I have a bet with Victor Chandler?
Well, what is this letter?
I couldn't tell you. Where did you find it? Where did you find it, smart man?
We were given this by someone. That's irrelevant. The point is it exists.
It's what it's about.
The point is this letter. The point is this letter exists.
I've never had a bet with Victor Chandler in my bloody life.
Well, how can you explain that letter?
You. I've seen your sword
Mr. Fitzgerald, this letter raises serious questions about your commitment to the fairness of horse racing.
Don't you ever tell me about my fairness to horse racing?
Well, what do you think the average punter would make of such an arrangement?
I couldn't tell you what the average punter would make, but I've never had any arrangement or anything with that with Victor Chandler. And if you can prove that I ever had, then you can have all the money you want.
That looks about as conclusive proof as you can get. Jimmy Fitzgerald has since admitted he has had a special betting arrangement with Victor Chandler, but he denies it was on a no-lose basis. Another letter was addressed to a trainer in Newmarket. Chandler wrote to Gay Kellaway in 1996, wondering whether she'd like the same arrangement as last year. I am prepared to give you £2,500 free credit, he said, and should you lose this amount, you do not have to settle. I wanted to talk to you about your special betting accounts with Victor Chandler.
My betting account? I've got one betting account with Victor Chandler.
Is it a special betting account? Is it a no-lose betting account?
I wish it was.
It's a sort of account where
never heard of it.
He gives you money and you bet with the money, and if at the end of the season you've made a loss, he clears your losses.
No, I think you got the wrong end of the stick.
Well, can you explain this letter from Victor Chandler to you? Says, I wonder whether you'd like to... Could you explain this letter, please? Have you ever had one of these accounts? Would you like to explain what this letter means, what this arrangement means? You think it's wrong?
I think it's very wrong.
Did the Jockey Club go along with you on that?
I had mixed responses from the Jockey Club. On one hand, there was, oh, well, we knew that was going on, as at one end of the sort of spectrum of reaction. The other was, well, these letters are a bit dated, aren't they? The letters you've seen were, 93, 96, 97, they're a bit dated. Perhaps it's too late to deal with it. But what it actually demonstrated, the actual answer actually demonstrated that there was an unwillingness to deal with it. And I suspect the reason for that unwillingness was the person I was speaking to knew far better than I did that this behaviour had been going on for years.
And they didn't want to rock the boat?
Certainly not.
Victor Chandler has refused to be interviewed by Panorama about these accounts. He's also tried to stop us from revealing them. In fact, racing's gentleman bookie was so determined to keep these letters quiet that he went to the High Court to seek an injunction against Panorama using them. But after a 2-day private hearing, Mr. Justice Morland decided that it was time for the public to be let in on the secrets of the racing business.
In my judgment, the contents of the two letters give rise to 3 questions. They are the integrity and fairness of bookmaking to the betting public, the relationship of bookmakers to trainers and racing stables, and the effectiveness of the Jockey Club's regulatory role over the sport and industry of horse racing. I am satisfied that those questions are of proper and serious interest and concern to the public, and in particular to the very many hundreds and thousands of people interested in horse racing, very many of whom will place bets from time to time.
The Jockey Club have known about these letters since 1998, They have now banned such arrangements, but they've taken no action against Victor Chandler. Based in Newmarket, the club is the sole regulatory body for horse racing. Officials like Christopher Foster and the stewards of the club are responsible for licensing trainers and jockeys. Their main priority is to ensure that everyone in the sport adheres strictly to the 243 rules. In dealing with Chandler, they could have used Rule 2, which gives them absolute discretion to exclude or warn off anyone they consider undesirable in the interests of racing. Arrangements of this kind are totally unacceptable, aren't they?
I think they're quite unacceptable, yes. There's no way we would approve of bookmakers effectively paying for privileged information.
In that case, why is Victor Chandler's name all over your racecourses, sponsoring major races?
I guess because one of the reasons would be that the Jockey Club has no jurisdiction over betting. We are the regulator of the sport of racing.
If you consider someone's behaviour unacceptable and you have the power to warn him off, why didn't you use that power against Victor Chandler?
Because I believe that would have been a disproportionate use of that power for the actions that Victor Chandler was taking. What he was doing was not an offence under any betting regulation, and was not an offence under the rules of racing. We have subsequently taken action to make it an offence under the rules of racing. If it happened again, then there is action we could take.
But you're not going to do anything about Victor Chandler?
No.
They were going to do something about Roger Buffham, though. Firm action was needed to stop him talking.
Well, I'll read the article first before making any comment on it. I don't particularly want to stand about here reading it, so thank you.
The once loyal official had now been banned from discussing his work at the Jockey Club.
Jockey Club act to silence Buffham in TV row. Sacked former security to fight injunction, stopping talking. Page 8, court date for Buffham over involvement in TV programme. Daily Mail. Jockey Club to take legal action against Buffham, and again that dreadful photograph. Jockey Club sues Buffham over television expose. These things don't worry me personally. I think it goes with the territory. But I've got a 17-year-old son at grammar school. Fortunately, he's off this week studying, doing home study for his AS exams. I've got a 20-year-old daughter at Leeds University, and I think it's not very pleasant for them, and certainly not very pleasant for my wife. And for friends, of course. But, you know, personally, I've grown to live with it.
The Jockey Club thought they'd dealt with Buffham. They'd also put every racecourse on alert that Panorama was making a programme.
We haven't even started filming.
Thanks a lot.
This was an industry rapidly closing ranks.
Excuse me, sir. Turn it off, or I'll take it. We're leaving.
I'm afraid we have to go. Thanks a lot.
Hidden in their confidential documents, there is one story which will forever haunt the Jockey Club. It is a remarkable tale of their abject failure to deal with one man. Brian Wright, a big-time London criminal who until recently operated from an apartment in the affluent setting of Chelsea.